Hello, Let's Talk Sport viewers, and welcome to our WWE Greatest Royal Rumble preview / prediction show. Well, it is taking place in King Abdullah International Stadium in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The Greatest Royal Rumble, the first time ever that there'll be a 50-man Royal Rumble event. Wow. WWE really raising the bar here. Unfortunately, there's no women's matches on the show. Hopefully that changes down the years in this 10-year deal that they have with Saudi Arabia, with the shows that are going on there in the future. But yeah, we've got a cracking lineup of 10 matches on the card to give ourselves a little bit of a taste of post WrestleMania activities. And we begin with the Cruiserweight Championship match between Cedric Alexander and Kalisto. And well, really, you know, he only just won his participation this week on 205 Live, Kalisto, to be in this match. So for me, I'm going to go with Cedric Alexander to retain. Kalisto's already had his run as Cruiserweight champion, so I think it's time to give Cedric Alexander just a little bit more time with the title, and let's see how he goes. Perhaps even leave it on until SummerSlam. You know, I think he's the future of the division, so let's see how he does. Next up, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Tag Team Champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, and the Usos. Of course, the Bludgeon Brothers only just won the titles at WrestleMania, so I'm going to have them to retain it. Naomi has been saving the Usos in recent weeks. This time around, she's not going to be there because of the laws in Saudi Arabia and whatnot. So the Bludgeon Brothers, to me, are going to retain this one and keep the titles on them moving forward. Next up, another Tag Team Championship is the Raw Tag Team Championship match between the Deleter of Worlds, aka Bray Wyatt, and Matt Hardy versus The Bar, aka Cesaro and Sheamus. And really, this one speaks for itself because of the fact that The Bar is on SmackDown. You think now that Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy will pick up the championship. So for me, it has to be those two guys. I think it's got a promising future for those two as well in the Raw tag team division. So let's see how they go on from there. Moving on to the United States Championship match between Jeff Hardy and Jinder Mahal. Once again, this is the same kind of, you will see a common trend really throughout this the preview prediction show, that there's so many SmackDown superstars now competing for Raw titles and vice versa, that it makes it really easy to predict really how things are going to play out, because I really doubt that they're going to move Jeff Hardy back over to Raw really quickly if Jinder Mahal was to win the the United States Championship. So I think Jinder Mahal will stay on Raw and Jeff Hardy will retain the title, and he will go on to defend it against Randy Orton at Backlash. Moving on to the Intercontinental Championship, once more, similar story as we've been going through so far. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe and The Miz are on SmackDown, while Finn Balor and Seth Rollins are on Raw. So it makes me think either Rollins or Balor is going to come out on top on this one. I think it's going to go to Rollins. I think they're not going to take the title off him too quickly, but I think Finn Balor's time is coming. There's a lot of support behind him. The only problem is a lot of the backroom just don't have a lot of confidence for some reason and not to give him the title. I think hopefully by SummerSlam he gets the title again, because it's been too long. But Seth Rollins to retain in Saudi Arabia come this Friday. Moving on to a really one for the fans, really, this kind of match. John Cena versus Triple H. I think because of the way that John Cena lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania, he needs a bounce back victory really quickly. And to go against Triple H is a nice, easy way to do it, because they can still put on a high quality match whilst giving John Cena the all-important win and not damaging the credibility of the game, because he doesn't wrestle that often anyway. So for me, I'm going to give it to John Cena. I think he comes out of this one with the win. I think a lot of people would prefer to see Triple H come out on top in this one, but I'm going to give it to John Cena. I think he needs to bounce back a little bit. So yeah, John Cena for me to win this one. Moving on to The Undertaker versus Rusev. Now, this is a really interesting one because this has been going back and forth. Of course, Rusev was originally in this match, then he was replaced by Jericho, and now he's back in it once more again. But either way, if it was Rusev or Jericho, it's still having the same outcome, and now it's The Undertaker's going to win it. It's a casket match, so I fully believe that, you know, The Undertaker's not going to lose the match type that is essentially based around him. So for me, it has to be The Undertaker to win this one. It's not going to damage Rusev's credibility at all either. They just need to push him and give him a title run. There's no point. It actually shows what kind of wrestler Rusev is, because think over the past couple of years now, he's wrestled against John Cena, and now he's going to go up against The Undertaker. So many other wrestlers as well. All of them want to line up to wrestle against him, and the way that he's been pushing merch is a promising future for him in 2018 in WWE. So unfortunately, he doesn't win this one. Undertaker takes it, but it's not the end of the road for Rusev Day. Moving on to the first major title match taking place between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke has finally turned heel. Very promising, and I think they need to build on it by giving Nakamura the title. So I do believe this is the first title change on the card. It won't be the last, unfortunately, because of the way that WWE absolutely loves a certain big dog. So I think it's the right time to give Nakamura a little bit of a title run. If it doesn't go right, they can just take it off him at SummerSlam. It's a perfectly fine occasion. SummerSlam is 3 months away. 3 months is a perfect amount of time to see whether or not Nakamura can be a good heel WWE champion. If not, then you can easily take him away from him at SummerSlam against either AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan, depending on. It's probably a good opportunity for that transition to take away from AJ Styles and then put it on Daniel Bryan without having AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan meeting that kind of match. So yeah, I think Nakamura is going to come out on top in this one. And then moving on to the Raw, it's basically Raw. Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. If you believe the rumors that Brock Lesnar is going to USC, then you're going to have to say Roman Reigns is going to take the title away from this one. Really, essentially, there's no Universal title at the moment because of how absent Brock Lesnar has been from Raw. I know he showed up this week, but other than that, there's not been a lot of him in 2018 on Raw. Roman Reigns has to come out on top of this one, just to the sheer fact that, finally we might get some actual decent feuds with the Universal title rather than it having been on sidelines for so long. And, we ended up with Raw 25, the Intercontinental title being the main thing, when really it should have been the Universal title. So yeah, Roman Reigns for me on this one, you'll get a better reception than what he did at WrestleMania. So I think he's going to come out on top of this one. And finally, we've got the 50-man Royal Rumble, the greatest Royal Rumble in WWE's eyes. There's loads of superstars that could end up winning this one. You got the likes of Daniel Bryan, The Miz, Sami Zayn, so many of them. Even like some people have even been saying Dolph Ziggler. But for me, I'm going to go with Braun Strowman. I think it is his time to finally get an opportunity to really get some credit, some what's the word I'm looking for here? Some recognition, really, for the work he's done in the WWE. Of course, he did have the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania, but they were taken off him after a day. He needs something to latch onto, and if he can come out and say that he beat 50 men to win the Royal Rumble, I think it speaks for itself, and it has to be him. And I think the Saudi Arabia fans will actually like him as well. So hopefully Braun Strowman comes out on top on that one. I don't think we've missed any matches out. So no, we haven't. So let me know your own greatest Royal Rumble predictions in the comments box below this video. And be sure to like the video as well. Subscribe for Let's Talk Sport and hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss a single video. And I shall see you soon.